stand ready for my arrival, worm, is what I would say if I've seen any of the two most recent seasons of Invincible. The reason why I know that's a thing, though, is because obviously I've been online at all, and if, there's any sort of thing that's in the public pop culture, you're gonna get it spoiled for you if you don't watch the movie or the episode within the day that it's released, because people online cannot stop talking about it. It is the most important thing, and if you're late in any capacity, you will get stuff spoiled for you. And so that has obviously, demotivated me from watching the next two seasons of Invincible, as I kind of just know everything that happens, everything that goes on in the story. So there's really no suspense when it comes to the events of the show. But there is one thing that I guess that happened in the show that kind of slipped my mind, and it's kind of crazy. I didn't really expect Invincible to do a collaboration with this type of content, but it's really interesting. So I want to run down this little interaction, this little storyline with you. It was kind of crazy to see this in Invincible. So I don't really expect them to do a Hello Neighbor collab in any way. We got the reporter Quentin Myers reporting on this, and there's going to be a little bit of a scuffle between Mr. Peterson and Cecil from Invincible. And let's just watch this all play out. So we got, the picture of Mr. Peterson's house right here. And Cecil gets over here, looking at this ugly fuck-ass house that Mr. Peterson has created. And he says, do you have any idea how badly you have to fuck up making a house to get the goddamn GTA involved? Conflict already. We can already see that these two guys are beefing with one another. And I have to take Cecil's side here, because it is one ugly looking mug of a house. It looks like something that would actually justify an HOA getting involved. Not a lot of times is the HOA justifiable, but I think this is like the one scenario which you can call the HOA and be like, yeah, shit's getting fucked up. Obviously, Mr. Peterson's not letting this stuff fly. He responds and claps back by saying, I've got the permits for the building and permission from the city. This is my first time dealing with a complaint about my house, Obviously, he's prepared. He's one of the brightest minds in our entire world. But I don't know if I trust this Mr. Peterson guy. He's a new character, and even though Cecil's not the most morally good character in the entire world, I have to kind of back him here. He looks kind of suspicious. Cecil obviously does respect the fact that he has all the permits, saying, all right, fair enough, I guess. But Jesus Christ, man, we had to divert one of our chopper paths because of that monstrosity. Which, yes, it does look ugly as shit. I guess it does. I would be kind of annoyed, too, if I had to divert a chopper path due to this guy's fuck-ass house looking like it the way that it does. Absolutely crazy. And then the hello neighbor, Mr. Peterson, responds saying, I don't see that's my problem. In fact, I think government boys have no business flying over Raven Brooks. We would all appreciate less helicopter noises during the day. And we can see that there's rising conflict. Yeah, this is not the type of stuff you would expect out of Invincible. They're taking a lot of creative liberties here. But I'm very invested in this arc of Invincible that they decided to release specifically in a Twitter thread on accounts that are based on the characters that they're here. That's exactly what's going on. But look at this. Cecil responds with a little bit of a threat. Listen, Peterson, you don't have a say in this. I've got the clearance to get rid of any obstruction I need to. And you're nice enough for your neighbors that I wouldn't feel too bad about a little singed grass. Now, this is where, shit starts getting real. This is where I started, getting my heart rate started going up. I started getting a lot more invested in this little conflict that we had. I thought it was crazy that this was a collab that they were doing. I wasn't really invested in either of these two sides, but now I'm hooked. My hands are grabbing the sides of my desk and getting ready to see all the stuff that's going on right here. Mr. Peterson responds, I do not care if you have clearance. I will not leave my home. I have you in a coffin 6 feet under my house if you come anywhere near my home. Now, I think this is a shortcoming in Mr. Peterson's knowledge, because I do think Cecil will pack this motherfucker up in 2 seconds, giving any sort of increased opportunity to do so. And obviously you can see how this happens, what happens as a result of this. The future does look bleak for our beloved Hello Neighbor Mr. Peterson guy from the hit show game series that everyone knows Matt Pat loves, Hello Neighbor. Of course, Cecil doesn't take this lightly, He goes, did you just threaten me? Oh, no. Big mistake, pal. Threatening to kill a government official? That is a big-time no-no with big-time consequences. I've made the most of your time in that shit shack hovel you call it home. Because once it's a smoldering crater, I'm going to shove you into it and make a fucking divot in your face where your nose was. Be seeing you. And then he leaves. And it's just crazy to see how this stories develop. I feel so bad for Mr. Peterson, because I think we all know what's going to happen next. And here Mr. Peterson doesn't take it seriously. I hope I never have to see that asshole again. And he walks back into his humble abode. And a couple innocent bystanders wanted to protect their beloved Mr. Peterson Hello Neighbor, John Hello Neighbor himself. But as you see here, Cecil arrives back to the GDA headquarters. What a jackass. No, he wasn't cooperating. You heard what he said. Get her warmed up. do it. And then we see Mr. Peterson's house get the tractor beam or whatever it is, the orbital strike, and everyone's beloved man, Mr. Peterson, is probably dead and dusted. We can see the alternate angle. I wonder if they're playing my favorite program on TV today, and then he gets obliterated, and he's dead. Rest in peace, Theodore Neighbor Peterson. And like every other resident of Ravenbrooks, that shit looks like it wiped all them out, bro. The hammer got brung down on him, and Cecil gets the last laugh here saying, "Goodbye, neighbor. This place just wasn't for you." So, like, once again, haven't really caught up with my Invincible. I haven't caught up with the last 2 seasons, but I thought this was a really interesting storyline that I didn't see a lot of people talking about. But it's just crazy. You can see that the writing really picked up in the last 2 seasons, and also like the animation really picked up a lot. You can tell that they put a lot of money into the budget here, as due to the success of Invincible, they were able to pull out all the stops, get probably the most anticipated collab in human history out here right now. And unfortunately, we did see the death of our beloved neighbor, hello neighbor, Mr. Peterson. And I think we're gonna have to do a hashtag cancel Cecil party on Twitter for murdering our beloved guy. That's just what I wanted to show you. I wanted to make sure everyone was up to date with the most recent Invincible lore, and that everyone was informed of the death of a beloved man in our community. That's what I gotta say for today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.